Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us for this. I have Lori Allen here, and we're going to talk a little bit about the charity we've chosen for the Tinsel Toss coming up in December. So, as you guys know, I'm Brent. I'm the president of Bay County Disc Golf Club. And Lori, why don't you introduce yourself before we get started here?
Hi, I am the executive director at the Gulf Coast Children's Advocacy Center, and I've been here in the current capacity that I've served for over 10 years. So very excited that you guys have chosen the CAC and happy to be here with you all.
Oh, that's super exciting. Incredible to be there for 10 years. So I know a lot about the CAC. I helped out with the one over in Okaloosa County during college. Really familiar, but I think we have a lot of people who are like, what is the CAC? So what is the CAC? What do you guys do? How do you guys help?
So here in Circuit 14, we're actually responsible for one of the larger areas in the state. So we actually are responsible for 6 counties. That includes Bay, Gulf, Holmes, Jackson, Calhoun, and Washington counties. And we have locations in all of those counties. Primarily, about 70% of those that we serve, though, do live in Bay. And we are 2 entities under one roof. We are a children's advocacy center and we are a certified rape crisis center. So that really works out beautifully whenever we have older teenagers or disabled adults that are in need of services related to sexual abuse. We're able to help seamlessly. And our mission here is to end child abuse and sexual violence. And we are almost 100 strong throughout all of our locations, trying to do that every day. We're really expanding our programs to include a lot of early intervention support so that families never have to enter into our programs that really are more involved in the criminal justice and dependency systems. So if we can love and support them early, then we hope that we can really create childhoods that adults don't have to heal from.
Oh man, that's incredible. I think that's a mission everyone can believe in. We've talked a lot as a club. One of our things in the near future is to start figuring out how to get kids involved in disc golf because it's a nice outdoor activity that doesn't require a lot of people. So yeah, I think we all feel for kids and want them to have like really well-developed childhoods. So just digging into that a little bit more, I guess like how do people end up at the CAC? Like, are you guys integrated with the justice system? Do people volunteer? Does somebody call you? Like, what's that process kind of look like?
Sure. So really the core services that encompass most CACs, and we have, like I said, other programs that are really enhancements on top of the core, but primarily what brings children into our doors is a referral from law enforcement or the Department of Children and Families. And if you kind of look at the analogy of an ambulatory type service, and I think there's one actually going behind me right now, we're the kind of the first responders. So when a cry for help is made, a significant physical injury is sustained or inflicted, or a child has made an outcry for help regarding sexual abuse, then one of those 2 entities is going to bring the child to the CAC. And there we're going to provide a physical exam, a forensic medical exam. And we have physicians and medical professionals who are actually certified to be able to do those examinations and make a diagnosis of child abuse. And they're also significantly trained on how to collect forensic evidence and how to really provide that follow-up treatment so that the child is minimally impacted by the trauma that they've experienced. At the same time, we have an entire team that only does forensic interviews all day, every day. So they do specialized assessments that are used in court. So that's where the criminal justice intersectionality occurs. And those interviews are used by law enforcement and prosecutors. And we know that utilizing this process, we have much greater results on the criminal justice side, a higher rate of prosecution, and it's more trauma informed. The child only has to be interviewed once at the CAC. They don't have to be interviewed over and over again by different systems that are trying to do their own thing. And we're able to take all of that and then make referrals in-house for victim advocacy support, therapists. We have really some very unique therapeutic options too. We have equine therapy. We have a facility dog that can assist. We have therapy bunnies. We do art therapy, yoga therapy. So we really have tried to make sure that we have options for everyone and their best modality for healing.
That's awesome. So the equine therapy, I'm gonna just give a little plug. You guys do that with the Hope Project, correct?
We do. And Dave has been amazing in expanding that further and further. And we have seen such an impact for those clients that do go out there and participate, both children and adults. And the horses just have this very natural instinct to go to people like dogs do that are hurting. And they're so comforting and so soothing. And there's just this really magical connection. So they do a great job. It's a
That's
great
cool.
partnership.
We just talked with Dave last week, and we're actually going to work with him on our summer tournament. We run an Ironman, and so
Nice.
the whole project. We're actually going up there tomorrow. So today, for people who are watching this later, is 10/13 on a Wednesday. So on October 14th, we're going up there. We're donating. We got a big check. It's gonna be really cool. Really excited to partner with them for our summer event and partner with you guys for what we hope to become an annual winter event. To give you
Awesome.
context on how this happened last year, we decided to run a tournament the day after Christmas because people like need a break from families. And we put it together in like 5 days. And it was one of the most popular events we've run. And so this year we really wanted to kind of partner with somebody who focused with kids, right? We want people to have a great Christmas holiday season. And that's where your name came up through Panama City Golf Carts, who they're just terrific.
Oh, they are amazing.
So cool. Yeah. So I've kind of derailed us. I'll pull us back here.
That's
You
okay.
mentioned therapy. So I guess like, right. One of the things I know people ask a lot, and really there's probably not a very easy answer to this, but right, like what I guess like how do these people get therapy? And then ultimately like what are the goals, right? Where are we trying to get people to through that therapeutic process?
Sure. So the answer to your first question is that everything that we provide is at no cost. So we don't ask for insurance, we don't ask for payment, everything is free. And so the therapy is provided to those that are identified as victims of crime, primarily child abuse, child sexual abuse, child physical abuse, adults that are sexually assaulted, or adults who experience sexual assault as children. So that's probably 90% of those that we see. But we do see children who are witness to homicide, that have experienced significant domestic violence in their home, who are exhibiting problematic sexual behavior. We want to try to reduce the recidivism. So if we get them in early before age 15, then we know that the outcomes, 90% of those that get treatment through our programs will never offend again as an adult. So it's really, really important that we can connect these young kids with services. So those are some of the other types of therapeutic modalities that we do. What are we trying to accomplish? Well, with the exception of the problematic sexual behavior, which we're trying to minimize that behavior in the future and have someone who often has a traumatic experience themselves that are now demonstrating that through behaviors that are, problematic. And we're trying to reduce that behavior. But for everyone else, we're really trying to tackle symptoms. So post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, if they're experiencing withdrawals, depression, there's a whole battery of assessments and different symptoms that we look at the time of intake. Now, someone may have experienced a horrific sexual assault and have no symptoms. Those are not the individuals. We just don't refer for therapy just to go to therapy. If someone is having trouble, if they're having difficulties, let's say that the assault happened 2 years ago and they were functioning okay then without any symptoms, but then today there's something triggering happened. They saw someone that looked like the offender. There was a smell that reminded them of the event, and then they had anxiety and panic attacks for 2 weeks following. Well, then they could call our center and we could provide therapy support for that person to minimize their symptoms. We want to make sure that individuals have healthy coping mechanisms and not maladaptive ones. And we know that addiction, substance misuse, mental health challenges, those all tend to be very much connected to unresolved trauma. So those are the things that we're trying to connect individuals with. It is less than 1 year is the therapy. This is not the kind of therapy that someone comes to forever and ever. We also look every 90 days to make sure that the symptoms are being resolved. And if not, we come up with a different treatment plan and different plans options. We want people to be successful.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, and I imagine in your last decade, with the changes in sort of the stigmatization of mental health, you've seen a lot of changes in that. So that's got to be incredible. just kind of talking through that, but we won't dig too much into it. I feel like we've covered a lot of heavy stuff in the first bit of this, and so hopefully some people are still with us. You guys run Kids Court, correct?
We do. So we provide, and we just hired a new specialist who's only going to work with kids preparing for court. So we have a small courtroom, mini courtroom at the CAC, and kids can get acclimated with that environment, and they'll get to meet Voyager, who's our facility dog, who can also, attend court with a child. And we are super excited about the enhancements that we're doing with this program. So court tours, having advocacy and advocates present during all their court proceedings, and really serving as that liaison between what can be a very intimidating system and the family who is just trying to get through a very difficult time.
Yeah, Kids Court, for those who have never seen it, is an incredible experience. I mean, I'm sure people are familiar that the court system is daunting, and these people at the CAC are just awesome at making sure kids understand what's going to happen, what's their rights, and really just making sure that they have the best possible outcome for anything. So yeah, that's incredible. Cool. Well, I think that's a really good overview that we have. I know one of the questions I'm going to get right as soon as I post this is, how do I help, right? People are going to want to help. Short of signing up for our tournament, right? We have a limited number of spots, or running a donation through the club, which we're only doing for a couple months. Like, how do people plug in 2022 and beyond?
Sure. So there are lots of ways. One, we ask people to consider volunteering, and we have tons of different mechanisms to volunteer. We have a 4-tiered system. We have a volunteer coordinator. Her name is Shannon. And if you just go to our website, gulfcoastcac.org, you can click on volunteer, send us a message, and we'll get you linked up. So it could be once a year, it could be once a month. We have some volunteers that come once a week. And we have some high school juniors and seniors up to, folks, I think in their late 80s that came and put Easter baskets together for us. So there's lots of opportunity to give back. That's not necessarily monetarily, although we would love monetary donations as well. We do a really good job of supporting all of our personnel expenses and our overhead expenses and our operational position expenses through contracts and grants. But it's all the other things that we have to get private funding for. So, if we wanted to help with a victim, if they need emergency clothing, or if they need a birthday gift, or if we have a sexual assault victim that was living with an offender or was attacked in their home and they don't feel comfortable going back, and they need some support, with transitional housing or emergency housing, or, any kind of, we have an amazing staff, and they are deserving of some appreciation every now and again. And so we have quarterly staff meetings, and we try to get something nice, a nice gift card or something for our staff to show their appreciation for the very selfless work that they do. So things like that, we just don't have the means outside of private donations to be able to do. So those gifts really do go a long way.
Awesome. That's terrific. And then I said I wasn't going to go off script at the beginning, so I'm going to apologize. But I think this would be fun because, we've had a lot of heavy stuff. Talk to me a little bit, right? So we're running, it's called the Tinsel Toss. We're going to announce our logo for it soon, but it's like Santa and Rudolph, like back to back. It's awesome. It's a doubles tournament, a whole lot of fun, right? Christmas time needs fun. What do you guys do to give these kids, a sense of normalcy around the holiday season? Obviously, it's very difficult to be a part of the CAC as a child. That's not something anybody chooses to be. But what do you guys do? What do you guys have offered for those kids, in the month of December?
Sure. So I started a program the first year I began as the CEO here called Holiday Hopes. When I was an investigator with the Department of Children and Families, there wasn't really any mechanism to get kids gifts who had suffered from abuse or neglect. And our pitiful salaries collectively, we could only handle, a couple of kids together. And so one of the things I really wanted to do was make sure that we had a mechanism through the CAC to give kids who experience these victimizations a Christmas to remember. And a lot of them in the past, I've heard just the saddest stories. Like, I would go to school and Santa Claus went to this person or this person's house and didn't come to mine. And I don't know why. I did everything I thought I was supposed to do. And, those kind of stories just break your heart. And then some of these lists, the kids would ask for just a toothbrush of my own, if I could have, a new pair of shoes and not a used pair of shoes. So it really has been a huge motivation for me. We started off the first year offering Christmas to 40 kids. And now that our programs have expanded, we see a lot more kids every year. And the need, of course, increased after Hurricane Michael as well. A lot more trauma survivors came forward. Last year, we helped 650 kids at Christmas. And it's not just one or two gifts, like they get the Christmas that my kids get. And I make sure of it. I look at every gift before it goes out. We wrapped every one of them. We make sure that sibling groups are equal. And it's a lot of work. It costs about $100,000. We have some fantastic sponsors that help us make that happen. But man, it's an awesome thing. And more people leave here in tears, parents or caregivers, just overwhelmed with the generosity of our community to make sure that kids know that they're loved at Christmas.
Oh, that's amazing. So Holiday Hope, love that name. I'm a fan of alliteration, as with the Tinsel Toss and our other big events, the Majet Monster Mash. So really great. Yeah, no, that's awesome. I guess, are there any things that people can do in the short term to help you with that vision of, helping, kids have a great Christmas?
Yeah, of course. So we start collecting right now. Bicycles are always an ask, baby dolls, cars, the things that kids typically ask for at Christmas. We also include toys and shoes, which is a little hard to buy for in advance. But those other types of toys, we always, scooters, any of that kind of stuff, we can go ahead and start collecting now. We have a storage shed that we try to keep everything in so that we can, last minute, if a kid comes in on their birthday, we can grab it. But it's also our start for our Christmas shopping area too. So anytime we'll take those things, and they're greatly appreciated.
Terrific. And so those items, used, new, like what sort of quality are you looking for in those items?
So we do ask to provide new items. We used to take used items, and we had some hygiene concerns in the past. And so we do ask for new now, and we greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, no, completely understandable there. That's awesome. And when do you need those items by for the holidays?
So by the 15th of December would be the best.
Right.
So the earlier, the better. We start getting things out the door pretty quickly. And with 650 kids, it's a big operation. So the sooner we can get kicked off on it, definitely, it works out better for all of us.
Awesome. Terrific. Well, I will echo that. So if you want to help out with this, please get stuff there quickly. If you are from out of town and playing our tournament, feel free to bring it on the 11th, and we'll load it all in the back of my truck, and I'll drive up with it just strapped all the way as high as I can get it, because we would love to support this. Oh man, Lori, thank you for your time. I think we covered exactly what I wanted to. I think we've given people like a view into kind of why we're partnering with you, what we're doing. Is there any like last notes you want to leave people with before we stop the recording here?
Just that we greatly appreciate the support. We hope everyone has a great time at the tournament. I look forward to meeting you guys all in person on the 11th. And thanks for choosing the CAC. It's really special for us.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. There will be more information coming. Registration starts tonight on the 13th. So really excited about this event. So hope you all get signed up. The first 2 weeks of signups do require donation. This is why we're trying to support this great cause. So we're running this tournament real cheap for you guys so that you can have the best experience and still be generous with your money. So we appreciate you guys.